Garden update, 22nd of May 2025. Hopefully the wind's not too noisy. So this is the side bed, and basically it's doing what I want it to do, which is the alyssum is kind of filling it out, and there's the gazanias I think, basically being a nice ground cover. They're sort of going over the soil to help keep it from drying out and things. So nice bit of colour there. I need to get some things growing in the back there, but that's probably going to wait for a transplant of lupin from around the front. Speaking of which, we'll go there now. So the front garden bed, there's a little bit of colour in here. Certainly a bit of green, a few weeds in amongst there, but that's okay. These are growing up quite nicely. I have taken some cuttings. I don't know if they're going to do well at all. I need to cut down the sunflowers, but I've actually been a bit unwell for the last week or so, basically a cold or something like that. So it's not looking as neat as it could do. There's a self-seeded tomato there. That's all right. And go across to the other side. I do like this little plant here that's come up there. It's very good. That needs to be trimmed back, I think. Now, I've got some store-bought flowers that have mixed in there, but we've actually had the first few proper frosts of this year. So this could be interesting. This, I'm pretty sure, is the dahlia from the back, the one that actually ended up being a big one and split. So we'll see how that goes. But again, sunflowers I need to cut down. And more self-seeded tomatoes that are just going to, well, just dying off now. The apple tree here, it's still doing alright. It's still got this patch in the middle without the leaves, but that might actually just be it dropping its leaves. It's still looking healthy other than that, so that's fine. I'm not too concerned. The alyssum that have been sprinkled in here are doing okay. I suspect the sunflowers will probably die off now, and that's fine. They'll just become basically compost material for it, so that's okay. This needs a big tidy up. I'll have to get around to that at some point. That was a hollyhock. It might actually still, I think there's still a bit of sign of life in the back there, roughly there, I think. So we'll see how that goes. These dahlias have obviously died off, so I'll have to cut those back as well. I might even dig these out. These ones were grown from seed, just a packet of seed from one of the local shops, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And we have more alyssum, because that's my go-to ground cover. Snapdragon, hollyhock in the corner here, which has actually got some nice flowers on it. Some more hollyhock, some more alyssum, and then the lupin here is sort of, it's doing its autumn/winter bit now, and it'll die back and then it'll come up. So there was actually only one plant here originally, and then it's self-seeded across here, so I'll probably end up grabbing one or two of these to take around the side. That's the plan anyway. A whole bunch of aquilegia there. The Daphne, I believe is what that one is. My alyssum. So this is alyssum that has been here now for, I think, sorry, I just tapped my phone there, 2-3 years, maybe even more. My understanding is alyssum is meant to be an annual or a semi-perennial. I don't think this is all self-reseeded. There possibly is some self-seeding in there, but I think this is actually still the main plant, which I suspect is just to do with the microclimate here. We've got a cyclamen there, or cyclamen, and the rose, which is the sort of the ripple, raspberry ripple type rose, more alyssum. These liliums, I'll actually have to cut those down eventually. Like, they've only just started going brown here, as you can see. These ones are still mostly green. I actually wouldn't mind pulling these out as well, or at least some of them, because originally there were three here originally, and so I'm guessing that basically they've grown and expanded in the time they've been here, so it might be nice to sort of spread those around the garden, perhaps put some over there, maybe even in this new patch. We'll see how we go. And the the bird bath garden is doing alright. So just wait for the motorcyclist to go past. The lime is doing much better these days, so I don't know whether it was just a case of I had too much around the trunk of it, or if it was a bug or something, but that's looking a lot healthier, which is good. The lemon tree is doing okay as well. I'll just duck over to this side. Probably the last of the sunflowers there, that's okay. Moralism, I've cut the plant that was here back, and I can't remember what it was. Very spiky, and it's sort of the bell-shaped thing, so it might have been like a Canterbury bell or something like that. This thing, which I have trimmed back, I'll need to trim back again because it's grown quite dramatically there, but that's all right. So now we'll head around to the back. So, the veggie patch. The geranium, is doing quite nicely. Some nice bright flowers there. Leeks, I believe, and a lettuce. Self-seeded potato. A number of the potatoes that have been self-seeded in here have obviously died back with the frost, and that's totally fine. Bunch of weeds growing in here, bit of a nuisance, but I do occasionally sort of come out and pick them out. I said I've not been the best for the last week. I'm just sort of starting to get over it now, so we'll duck back out here. A rarity for me, planting that actually looks organised. These are ones that I started in the greenhouse. I think they might be pak choi or bok choy. But yeah, I had them in the greenhouse. I thought, I need to plant these out. So I did, and they're actually coming along quite nicely. And there's a second bunch of them just there. So yeah, either pak choi, bok choy, or could be silver beet, but I think that's the pak choi, bok choy. The grapevine is obviously starting to go into its autumn-winter phase, which is good. I'll probably need to trim. There's actually some grapes trying to grow there. I'll probably need to trim this back, try and prevent it going so much this way, guide it more that way, but that's okay. These, I think, are self-sown, because as you can see, I have a tendency to leave the flower heads there. I don't mind. They probably do need to be separated to give them a bit more space. They're probably more leeks, I'm guessing, although along here I think we actually have some garlic, because I did actually grow garlic in this area last year, I think. So a bunch of these things are probably garlic. I have actually spaced out some of those ones a little bit because they're clumped together. So I don't know if you can see just around here, there's some that have been spaced out. That looks like it could be another, another avocado, I think, which would make sense because it's probably a seed in there from the compost, which is fine. I'm going to guess these are leeks, but they could be basically any of the allium family because I've had onions and garlic in here as well. That though, I would say are most likely leeks, although I do have some onions growing there, so that's alright. And over here, I believe this is actually a self-seeded celery, which would make sense because this is a celery, and you can see it has the seed heads on here. In fact, if I do that, little tiny celery seeds there, so that's alright, that can grow on there. These are just some sugar snap peas or snow peas, I'm not sure which. My youngest tends to come out and basically help himself to them. So hang on, let's grab this weed while we're here. They tend to help themselves to them, so it's almost a case of I'm trying to sneak some into different parts of the garden where they might not find them to give them a chance of growing on, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter as long as they're enjoying it and they're getting some vegetables. It's good. So here we have, that's an old tomato plant. We can probably get rid of that. These are tomato seeds trying to grow. There we go. Got some nice onions growing there, which is quite nice. And there look like some more alliums there. These would be carrots, I believe. Looks like I might have actually sown them down that way. I thought I sowed them that way, but yeah, we'll see. Doesn't matter. Should all be fine. The red grape is looking a lot more sort of died back there, which is okay. I might just come along this way. As I nearly fall over. So this is the bit where they've self-sown, and I've moved some of them out. I should do that with the rest of these, and I probably will do that at some point, but not just for the moment. It's the last of let me get the focus there. Last of our zucchini, which is okay. Some cabbages. I've not grown a cabbage to a point where I can harvest it yet, because they tend to get eaten, but these ones are actually self-seeded from this plant, which has been here now for 2 to 3 years, I think, and that's fine. That's not a big issue. And here we have the store-bought basil, which is obviously going to seed here, which is alright, because I might actually see if I can save some of the seed from that. That should be garlic there. Those actually look like they're probably weed seeds, but that's alright. And these ones, I'm not so sure, because I can't. Oh, that's definitely a weed there. We don't want that there. I can't remember if I planted some. Sorry, I've got to smell the basil there. If I planted some alliums here, or if these are actually bulbs. I mean, the leaves of those make me think they're actually bulbs. So I'll be curious to see what they come up as. That's fine. It's all a bit of an experiment or some such. Flat leaf parsley, I believe, which was from store-bought, much like the basil. So that's good. Last of the self-seeded tomato here, that's dying off. That's okay. And you can see I've got another pea plant there. Last attempt of a cucumber. We have actually had a couple of cucumbers, so it's not too bad, but I'd say these ones have basically sort of gone over by now. There's a lettuce trying to grow there, one there that's been, I think, damaged by slugs and things. This is a capsicum, or bell pepper, I believe, as you might say, in the northern hemisphere, that I think is now just starting to suffer from the cold. This one, I think I put in there, but it was wrong sort of time of sowing, and also I think it was too shaded here with the grapevine. I've had to reinforce this actually, because the main part sort of came down a bit, but that's all right. So we've got more of our pea plants here, and we've got some more of the bok choy, pak choy, that's it. Yeah, muddle up my wording there. The rhubarb, I think, might be sort of coming to an end here at the moment, but that's all right, because it's looking a bit. Oh, let's get rid of that one as well, because it's looking a bit rough. That's why I'm going to chuck that to there. But that's provided quite a bit over the time. The gooseberry, I'm going to have to trim that, and I may end up moving it. I'm not sure. I don't think that's the best spot for it, but never mind. The bamboo doesn't seem to have grown any taller, which I'm a bit curious about, because I mean, I kind of would like it to grow taller, because that's kind of the point of it, is to make myself some garden stakes out of it. But at least it's green, so it's not dying off or anything. It's just not growing taller. But anyway, more of the alyssum. Got my jostaberry there, which is looking quite healthy. Some more snapdragons in there. Speaking of snapdragons, got one over here. It's doing quite well. This bed was going to be kiwi fruit. It still probably will be, but I still need to get a kiwi fruit actually growing to a point where I can do something with it. That was the offcut, or the cutting from the gooseberry that took, so it's staying there, it's doing well. This is the blueberry, which is looking a little bit rough on the top there actually. I might have to trim that back, but that's okay. The compost heap, a hollyhock there. The pond, which is doing okay. I need to get rid of some of that swirly sort of weedy stuff, but that's alright. Seems to be doing all right. More of my cuttings from gooseberry bush that seem to be doing alright. This obviously is getting a bit weedy here. I'll have to eventually I think, pot on the gooseberry plant as well. There's got a potato in here, which is obviously being hit by the frost at the moment. That's right. The raspberry, which hasn't really done much this year. That's the Chilcotin, I think, variety. I'm not sure of the pronunciation of that. But I believe it said it was supposed to be cut back, and it's supposed to be an autumn fruiting, I think. Well, we've now been through autumn, and I thought maybe that was when it was going to come up with some fruit, but nope. But then the first year that I had it, it actually seemed to fruit in summer more than anything, so I don't know if it's mislabeled or if there's some other issue, but I'll keep experimenting with that and we'll see how we go. The store-bought apple tree is looking quite good. I might even have to sort of trim the top of that down a bit, but it's definitely looking nice and healthy, which is good. Very good. Into the greenhouse. A bunch of leeks here which really need to be planted out, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. If you can hear that sort of hissing sort of noise or breathy sort of noise in the background, that's the heater, because we are actually now getting into the cold. I don't know if any of this is ranunculus. It's just little bits of grown, and this of course is the problem with me using my own soil for a potting mix, is that it'll have weed seeds in it. So I suspect this is mostly, if not completely, weed seeds. These were in a similar container, but there are a lot of them that look very similar. In fact, I have some more over here, and so I think they might actually be some of the flowers that I planted in there, but I'm not sure. Similar here, I think these are probably weeds, but I'm not entirely sure. I figured they can just grow there for the moment anyway. These all seem to be similar sort of plants, so I'm hoping those are a flower seed, but I'm not sure. And this is basically one of those sorts of things. I think all of these, bar the two columns on the left, which all seem to be the same sort of plant, I think the rest of these are probably mostly weeds, although there might actually be some snapdragons in there. But anyway, that can all sit there for the moment. It's not a fuss, it's not really taking up any important room. Same thing again here, could be some proper flowers, probably a lot of weeds. And the one in the back here, these are freshly planted or freshly sown seeds. We'll see how they go, because my success with those have been quite hit and miss recently. Oh, and I did actually find my pre-labelled milk bottle things. I thought I had them out here and that the ink had actually faded on them, but no, it turns out I just put them somewhere and forgot where I put them. That sounds like a very me thing to do. These are the cuttings from the plants in the front that I can't remember what they call them. It's like Winter Rouge, or there's one other one. I think they're actually Australian natives. But the idea of these ones is that they can become hedging plants, because they do actually grow quite well, as the two in the front have. And as the person in the nursery where I got them suggested, kind of sort of, shh, don't tell anyone, but if you take cuttings of them, of course, you can get many more of them. So I'm hoping that these take. They may not, and I'm aware that I've probably got far too much green on there for what they have for cuttings, but they seem to be doing all right at the moment, so I'll leave them be. Audrey is still okay, amazingly, so that's good. And over here, I got some strawberries last time. I got a voucher for my local hardware store, so I thought my previous strawberries had kind of died off, and they're getting a bit old anyway, so we've got some new ones. We've got strawberry pink and strawberry bravo, and this one's actually got some on it. I don't know if these will go to fruition, but as long as the plant survives, it has a nice little pink flower on there, so that's good. So we'll see how they go. We have an eggplant / aubergine plant here, pretending that it's going to survive the winter. It can stay here at the very least. It just means I'll have some more compost to use, but if it happens to grow some actual fruit on it, that's totally fine as well. I'm just going to get rid of this weed here because it's a bit big, and because I can. There we go, get rid of that one. The pineapple there is still plodding along, as is this one, but I need to zhuzh up, I think, this area here and make it a bit more productive, but there's no rush. I mean, we're in winter now. It's only a few days away from winter. The way we define it in Australia, we tend to go by the 3 months sort of thing. So basically once June hits, that's our declared winter. We'll see how it goes. The avocado there, it's fine. It's alive. It's not doing much at the moment, but again, cooler weather, so I don't expect that to do much for the moment. We shall go along and have a look at these bits. Lots of weeds in there, but that was kind of a spare one. I'm not too fussed about that. Here, I suspect that's a self-sown tomato. I put a bunch of lettuce seeds in here. So there should be lettuce in here. There's probably also a bunch of weed seeds. I think just grass seeds there. I think a bunch of these other bits are just weeds. So I'll get through that. Funnily enough, each time I've taken one of the self-sown, I think blackberry, canes, whatever, from wherever it's sort of self-sown, and replanted it, I've managed to kill it off. So they're not that hardy. I'll probably try and get another one again, just because I wouldn't mind some blackberries just for the sake of it. This one was from the front nature strip, so yeah, there's no loss to it dying off. It would have been nice if I'd kept it and made it grow to something, but that's okay. But yeah, at least there's some lettuce coming up here, so that'll be quite nice. This one, again, I'd say self-sown tomato. I'm kind of curious to let those go. I don't know whether this particular area might be sort of a microclimate that will allow them to keep growing, in which case, well, why not? Because there's no real loss to it. And then these, I believe, are my garlic. And then these ones look like they're different. Now, I did put some, not ginseng, ginger into one of these two. I can't remember which one. So that could be ginger, but also I think I put some bulbs in here from the compost mix. So it's possible that these are just bulbs, in which case they could end up having some nice flowers to them, which would be interesting and quite nice. So this one, I think this might be spinach, but I'm not sure. And I think I also sprinkled some mint in here, so it'll be interesting to see if that produces anything. Again, more garlic, I believe, and basil. These are the store-bought basil again, so these ones are going to seed, as we've got there. And some parsley, I believe. So again, the store-bought parsley, they've actually come up now. They're doing quite well, and obviously got a pea in here as well. So there we go. So those are actually coming along quite nicely, so they're not too bad. There's a little bit of extra growing space. I'm quite happy with that. This area is still mostly clean. And then we have the backyard. So we have the dianthus, I think they were, I think carnation is the other name. And that they're obviously going to be seeding here. So I'll leave that. And I've got this main one, its flowers have sort of died back now, but that's okay. We've got what might be a ranunculus, I'm not entirely sure, but that's right, a little bit of colour there. I think nectarine tree, the one that's never produced fruit, but is looking healthier than it used to, so that's good. This is where the dahlia from the front came from. There is still a big clump of it here. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because it hasn't been buried as much as it probably should be, but I think this is a somewhat protected area, so we'll see what happens. The hebe is looking nice and healthy. That's good. This area needs a bit of a tidy. Some of these ones are actually the sweet peas, are actually growing up the back, which is nice. Ideally they should be growing against that, but that's all right. This tree will come out at some point because it's obviously died off anyway. We have some more bulbs here. I'm not entirely sure what sort of bulbs they are, but we'll see what they come out as eventually, hopefully. More alyssum. I think it might be seaside daisy mixed in with this as well. There's my orange tree, which is from seed, and my lavender. That's a different lavender to the front. The front ones are sort of, I think, going a bit, not necessarily dormant, but they're a bit bland at the moment. The flowers aren't exactly in bloom. This one hasn't bloomed yet since I bought it, but it's looking alright actually. I think that's grown a bit in size. Some more snapdragons. These are obviously mostly lost their flowers for the moment. And, perhaps more importantly, this is my apple tree that's grown from seed, and it is looking extremely healthy. There is the other one, because this and this one were basically a pair, and they were basically roughly the same height when I planted them out here. The one here, which you can see is being dwarfed by this other tree, is possibly suffering because it's being dwarfed by the other tree, so it's probably got less resources that it can draw from. So this, I suspect it's probably either nectarine, peach or apricot, probably. I'll probably move that around to the sides, that area near the bench where I had moved my trees and effectively killed them. This will probably move there, but I'll wait until it's dormant this time. I'll be patient, or try to be. Another snapdragon. This one does still have some of its lovely flowers on it. I do like snapdragons. And again, seaside daisy, I believe, the ones there. There's also a lot of weeds there that I'm going to have to get into, but anyway. In this area here, as you can possibly see, the butternut pumpkin vine has died back. This area is getting a bit overgrown, but the back area is mostly fine because it's still got the cover down. Ideally, I'd put some cover over here, and maybe I'll find something or other to put over there, but otherwise it's okay. It's not too bad. But yes, that's the garden, 22nd of May 2025. Definitely started to head into winter now, but that's all right. Lots of opportunities to get things set up for spring when that comes around eventually. Thank you for watching, and happy gardening.